Hi everyone, welcome to the final ESTA weekly lockdown webinar for this school year. We're very pleased today to be joined by the mainstay of the ESTA team. We obviously have DJ Phil larging it in the house there in his holiday retreat in the Bahamas. Sheila, are you in a more glamorous location than Phil?
Yeah, near Bedford.
Very nice, very good, excellent. And Achin, I believe that you're nice and cool in your air-conditioned flat in Delhi. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Steve we're very glad that Steve is upright at all today, frankly. He's been suffering from a very bad back, but he's apparently high on drugs and has joined us today.
That's me, yeah. I got my goals. If you live in Wales next to the sea, as I do, you've got to have two things. You've got to have a summer house in your garden, because everybody does, and you've got to have some goals, little ornaments. It's very important. If I keel sideways at any point during this, it just means that my back is telling me I have to lie down for a bit. So if somebody else is talking and I disappear off, that's all it is, honest.
Oh.
Yeah, it just means you need more drugs.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, Phil called you the Leaning Tower of Bingham earlier on.
Exactly.
Exactly. We're feeling for you. Thank you for sitting up.
That's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It is getting better.
Oh. And we've got Ingrid Perrin, our newest regional officer. No, she's head of. What is she, Phil?
I'm your coordinator of region.
Coordinator.
Yeah.
I'm here in Camp Norwich today.
Camp Norwich. Residents of Norwich would be glad to be described as such. Marvellous, brilliant. Okay, so first of all, I would love to hear a bit from Achin, who is our digital director. Achin, what exactly is your role for ESTA over there in Delhi?
So my role mainly comprises of more of the digital or the online stuff. That's for ESTA, maintaining the brand presence over on Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So I was approached by Phil in about like July 2018, I'll say, where we discussed on how we can optimize all the social media platforms, where we can inform a lot of people who didn't know actually about ESTA, even in the UK, tell them what benefits ESTA has, whatever insurance they're providing, how becoming a member of ESTA could immensely benefit them over the long run. So then we came up with strategies on how we can increase brand awareness. We've been working on Google Ads. Google has been kind enough to give out like $10,000 a month in form of grants. We haven't been able to use it much, but yeah, it has been really effective in reaching out to people. Whosoever wants to search for us or is searching for the services that we provide is able to reach out to us more effectively, like in the past 1 year or so. So that's been my main objective, tell people about ESTA.
Well, thank you for all the work you've done for us. That's been great. So in fact, how did you meet Phil then? How did your paths cross? Because I mean, I know he travels, obviously he travels a lot, as you can tell at the moment, but when did you meet Phil?
So I actually met him in August during the ESTA summer school, but we've been working on Partplay. We were introduced by a common person, Chris Burkett, who introduced me to Phil to work on their app Partplay. My team works with them. And then I met him live when we were in the ESTA summer school of 2018 and then 2019 as well.
Wonderful. So well, you mentioned Partplay, and of course the other half of Partplay is the vertical Steve Bingham. Yeah, he's still vertical, Steve. Well done. And you have.
I'm going for the record now of verticality, you know, for me.
You have been busy, even though you've put your back out, and you've managed to launch the first ever digital ARCO. Tell us about that.
Yeah. We talked about probably about a year ago. It's an on and off subject about whether the magazines could or should go digital, either entirely or in tandem with print. And then of course our hand was forced with the COVID-19. So for Jester, which came out in May, we had really no choice but to go digital, because the way Jester works, as many of the members looking at this will know, we send it out in printed form to the members and they pass it on to their students. And of course that was an impossible thing to do in lockdown. They weren't seeing the students face to face, and we couldn't land them with a postage bill of posting out Jesters. So we went digital. I think it worked really, really well. And I think for a magazine that's aimed at a younger audience, it's a very good way to engage with them. And there are certain interactive things or semi-interactive things that you can do with a magazine that's digital, with links and with embedded videos and things, which you can't do with a printed magazine. So that was worthwhile. We were planning to do a printed arco as normal, but various things have sort of ganged up on us with that. The root cause again is the COVID-19 and the difficulty with advertisers, and basically it comes down to financial practicalities. But for various reasons, we decided to go digital with this one. So we're on, where are we, Friday the 24th of July. We're just putting the final touches to the issue as we speak, and that will be, a link will be landing on your digital doormat extremely shortly, and I hope you enjoy that. We value any feedback from that because, you know, this is going to be a continuing discussion, and the financial implications of advertising and print will no doubt keep being in the forefront of our minds as we move forward. And so I know that many members will love the digital format, many members will prefer the print format. We value all the feedback on those things, and in the meantime, hope you enjoy this issue. And we'll
can you give us any clues? Can you give us any clues about what might be in there?
Yeah, well, we've got some lovely reports from the online CPD sessions. So people who went to those, which I think is really nice. We've got a Nicola Benedetti article about their virtual sessions that they did and how they worked with it. We've got this lovely lady, what's she called? Nicole something. Nicole Wilson, that's it, yeah. She's done an article on online teaching, which is fantastic.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. I mean, I don't know her myself, but she sounds fantastic. So she's done an online teaching article. And we've got loads of feedback, actually. A couple of letters in about previous things. Lovely article about what ESTA Ireland have been doing in lockdown. So loads of things to get your teeth into. Cello fingerings. I mean, who doesn't want to know about cello fingerings? You know. So lots of things to look at there. So we hope you enjoy that when it lands, as I say, on your digital mat any second.
Fantastic, thanks, Steve. Steve, now please just lie down just for a little while I talk.
Actually, remarkably, I'm quite comfortable. You know, you find a comfortable position, and then you don't want to move.
Okay.
The way bad backs work, and then you move and you wish you hadn't.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
I'm going to stay here for now.
All right. So Ingrid, tell us, how has your first term with ESTA been, for want of a better description?
My first term with ESTA has been a pure delight. It's been really enjoyable. Thanks very much to the team who've made me feel very welcome and helped me out with things when I didn't know things. I think I'd like also to say a thanks to the current regional officers, the ones who've been in place for 2 or more years. Again, huge expertise and help and support. A thanks also to the outgoing ones, as a few are leaving us, having done several years of stalwart service. And a warm welcome to the 3 people who've joined us fairly recently, who are already shooting off in all directions and drawing people in and calling people together. The other thing that I sort of like to say, really, apart from the resilience sessions, which were fabulous, and I look forward to more of those. I really enjoyed the cello ones with Professor Laura Ritchie. The little thing we thought of, the virtual coffee meetups, have just been a huge success in the different areas. I've been invited to a few and attended a few. I went to the Kent one this week, which was really nice. And of course, for me, it's a really nice way of meeting new neighbours. Yeah, I get to call them neighbours.
Yes.
Yeah, it does feel like new neighbours. And especially we've got an officer in place. We've got Melissa in place now for Tyne and Weir in Northumberland. So it's nice to sort of have that connection and hear different voices and different stories.
No, that's great. I mean, you say about neighbours, but I mean, that has been one of the lovely things about lockdown is it has felt that we have all literally sort of come closer together. Look, here we are on a little screen. I love it. Like, you know, Achin in Delhi there. It's like you're next door. I love it. And I know that Sheila drew us up a list of pros and cons of lockdown in case she fancies doing it again some other time on her own. And tell us, Sheila, which list was longer, pros or cons?
Well, weirdly, I just thought, you know, because I knew obviously we were doing this, and I thought it got me thinking, you know, what what have been the pros and what have been the cons about this situation. And so I started writing my list, and the pros was way longer than the cons. And
so what were the pro? Give us your best pro.
Well, no particular order. It's just, this is just how it came out of my head. Is that obviously we've had more time. I've not been herring around the country, so that's been nice not to be in my car quite so much. My techie skills have increased quite considerably. Which the online teaching has worked. I don't know.
Sheila, you said your techie skills improved and then you froze.
Brilliantly timed, Nicole. There's a little button you press.
Well, I've had enough. I just mute you, Sheila. So what was the second one? Was it important? Tell us.
Yes, they're all important. Now, so I'm just saying how surprised I am at how well the online teaching has worked, and how some kids have really, really taken to it. And even though sound quality is I've just had to get used to that. They all sound like a bag of nails, but they do. And so
don't tell them.
I know, I've not told
them. Computer makes them sound like a bag of nails, Sheila.
Exactly.
Not your teaching.
But I've had to be resourceful, and I've had to find ways of communicating and doing it by some of it just by watching, because the pitch quality is bad as well. So it's made me think in a different way, and I think that's really good. So some of those things that I've now been doing with the online stuff, I will actually take into school. So that's really no bad thing. What else have I written? I've done lots of interesting stuff online as well. I've been going to like virtual drinks things with people like Ruby Wax and Armando Iannucci. Yeah, and on screen it was like me, and that was Armando Iannucci. So I was sort of doing this, pretending to stroke his head, because I'm a bit of a fan of him. And the other thing is that I've moved out of London temporarily into the countryside, and I didn't think I could survive outside London, but I've not died. I'm still alive.
It's okay in the countryside now and again.
I know, I've been so surprised. And I've got better at cooking, and I've never baked so many cakes, biscuits and shiny sauces.
Ooh, why are they shiny?
Because that's what MasterChef do.
Oh,
it's the wine. It's the wine.
Wine.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, well done.
And my cons were, one trivial. Well, I've gone up a dress size.
Could be a pro or con depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. So have I, Sheila. So have I.
Yeah, I know. I'm not alone. And the obvious big thing is that we can't make music with each other, and that's I've really come to appreciate quite what we do, and so that's been a downside, and not seeing friends and family and going to the pub, and that was it. That was my cons. But, so I've been really surprised at quite how positive it's been. Really,
it's been quite a good, useful reset for me to realise how much I love playing with other people.
Yeah,
you can, especially when you do it professionally, you can get bogged down with it's got to be a certain standard, and it has to be, right at this moment, and we're not together there, and all this kind of stuff. But actually, last night I was playing Strauss Metamorphosen with 6 other of the loveliest people in the business, and it was so laid back. We just played it because we loved the Strauss Metamorphosen. Isn't it a good piece? Oh, it really is. And it was just lovely. And I was thinking, it's probably about 30 years since I felt that level of relaxation playing, not having to feel that it was for something particular. It was just for the pure enjoyment of it. And it's been very useful for me to actually take a step back and think, why did I go into music actually? And it was because I loved the music,
Yeah, absolutely. I actually did a gig on Sunday, a quartet gig, amazingly, and it was just the feeling, it was quite emotional, and just being with your friends, and we were just playing music, and we were making all the people happy, and we got such a warm welcome. They were so nice, and we were just like, oh, God, this is why we do it. It was real. It was a proper reset, as you say.
Yeah,
And
wonderful.
it really made me appreciate quite what we do. And,
Well, Phil, we come to the end of the school year. Some of us, obviously, on holiday earlier than other people. What's your summer going to be like?
Well, I'll spend a few days at my my chalet here at Port Talbot, but I just wanted to comment on the last 4 months, as we all know, have been extraordinary. But we've all, normally when one faces a learning curve, this learning curve, it's an isolated thing. You're on your own. You've started a new job, or you're training for something, or you're in a new environment, and there's a learning curve, and you just get on with it and you battle through it. And occasionally you've got people to help you. This learning curve has been nationwide. Everybody has had to change the way they do things, change the way they think about things, and reflect, well, have the opportunity, I think, to reflect in ways that they've not had for years. And it's been really interesting to see the sort of collective approach and how we've all come together with this. I've got to say, I mean, they're all here, but I've got to say, we're immensely proud of the ESTA team, who have, to a man and woman, just been amazing. Diligence and passion.
Phil, you pause. I've got to stop you there. It was hilarious. You went, they've been amazing. And then it was like, you know,
it was just so we could reflect. It was so we could reflect on how amazing we were.
Amazingness.
But it was just a nice pause from Phil.
They've been amazing at laughing at me in the silences when my microphone doesn't work. No, it's just been just a privilege to work with such a great team, so passionate about what we do, and I think at ESTA we feel a huge deal of responsibility for our members, and we really wanted to support and reach out to you as much as possible. And I think the team, and I think we've done a really good job of that. And I think ESTA members have really done a great job on this nationwide learning curve. And we're starting to see the results of our hard work, and we're starting to see and grasp all the opportunities. As Steve's mentioned with the ARCO, you know, it's great having a printed version. It's great having something in your hand, but won't it be interesting now to have a look at a digital version where you can press something and listen to a music example, or take you to another website? So it's a whole new ball game. And I think it'll be great if you can feedback, if everybody can feedback, because we want to get that balance right. We want to go back to some of the more traditional things, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But we also want to embrace the new. And, you know, so this is a new world for ESTA, it's a new world for all of us. So that's quite exciting. What am I going to do this summer? I'm going to carry on for a little bit in the office, but I am going to take some time off. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go. It's been fantastic to have all this extra time with the family. Spent far too much time in the car or trains and planes traveling, and it's really nice to use all those extra hours to in fact be at home and be with the family. But as Sheila says, and Nicole says, I really do miss the face-to-face playing, and playing just for the pleasure. I mean, that's what it's all about. But other than that, I don't know, Nicole. I think everybody's got to take a break. I think the last 4 months have been quite hectic, and I think it's very important that everybody takes a break, including my wife there, who's just, isn't it amazing? We're on a live call with thousands of people, and she's just taking my instrument off me, which I'm going to need in a few minutes. And this is the beauty of live, you know, when you go into your office, you say, I'm going to be working. I'm on a live broadcast just for 20 minutes. So you know,
Well, at least
Don't pull the plug out of the router or anything like that.
I was going to say, at least your daughter hasn't done that this time. Yeah.
Everyone in my family takes it in turn to try and put me off my stride.
Oh, thanks, Phil. Now, just before we leave you, Sheila, you have actually had a little extra project on the side, haven't you? You've actually commissioned a new work during lockdown.
Yeah.
Perhaps you could tell us a little about that.
Well, it's very special, and yeah, I'm very excited to share it, really. And yeah.
And who wrote this piece, Sheila?
No, who wrote it?
I think you should come clean, Sheila, and say you are the composer.
Yeah.
Actually, Sheila this is her first attempt at composing. She's actually already been nominated for a Grammy Award for it. We're very proud at ESTA. It's actually quite a complicated piece. There's a lot of tone rows in it, and we do need a conductor to help us. And so Ingrid very kindly got her baton ready. This piece, Sheila, perhaps you could speak a little about the instrumentation.
Well, it's mainly blowing.
Little hitting, bit of hitting.
A bit of hitting and a bit of squeezing.
Okay. Squeezing.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, very good. So it's for clarinet, cornet,
instruments up, please. Orchestra,
bassoon, and Achin. What are you playing there, Achin? Which part?
Harmonium and a tabla. So
at the same time.
at the same time. I'm ambidextrous, so I'll manage it.
Very good, very good. Do you ever cross your hands over to play the two simultaneously?
That'll be
I think it sounds better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we tune? Sheila,
Yes,
could you give us an A, please?
Yeah.
A, please.
Yeah.
Nicole.
You like my A?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Because it's always on trumpet, right?
That's brilliant. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
Spot on.
it's in 5/8. So if you could give us 5 in, please, Ingrid.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do my best.